Hello, Mr. Ken again here, and I'm going to talk about aligning decimals when adding or subtracting. Man, this is so huge. Why do you need to know this? Well, I'm going to give you one example, and I think you'll remember this, hopefully for the rest of your life. All right, here you are, and you're about to go buy some candy at your favorite candy store. Candy is 50 cents. 50 cents. 25 cents a piece, 25 times 2, 50 cents. And you got some kid that works behind the counter and you don't know what he's doing, and their cash register just blew up, but you still want this candy. And it's just after Christmas and you were given a $100 bill for Christmas. Well, you're going to get this candy and you're going to work through this problem of trying to figure out how much change you should get back because the cash register doesn't work anymore. So, he's like, oh, I'll take the money, and then it's next thing you know, it's, well, we got to put it down on a piece of paper. Well, I hope you know how to align decimals, because are you going to leave it up to this guy to align the decimals? So you give him the $100, and your shirt says sucker on it, and I hope that's not really the case. But you give him $100, you get out a pencil and paper, and you try to figure it out. So here we go, $100. And you bought 50 cents worth of candy. And you got to subtract that because you know you should be getting some money back. You got the bigger number over the smaller number. So I'm going to do this, and I got a 0 there, and I got 5 I can't take away, so I'm going to take away, borrow, put a 1 there. I know 10 minus 5 equals 5. Ooh, look, I got a decimal there. All right. I think I figured out how much change I should get back from $100 after buying 50 cents worth of candy. I should get back, according to our math here, 50 cents. Now, does that sound right? Absolutely not. You do not want to be this kid buying 50 cents worth of candy for $100 and only getting 50 cents back. Don't let that be you. So, let's figure out how to align decimals so you can get the right change back. All right, aligning decimals when adding. Look, you've been doing this a lot when you've just been taking regular numbers and adding them. You just haven't realized it yet. So if I say add these numbers, 20, 10, 6, and 5, you've kind of already been writing it down like this, which is the way I write it. And you align the numbers based on like the side, how it looks. The whole time, though, there's a pretend decimal sitting there on these whole numbers. And that's what these numbers represent. We can even add in an extra 0, because even when you add in 0, you're not adding anything to it, you're just making it look more official. Okay? So if we add this, I got zeros here, and my decimals are already aligned. I've got a 6 plus 5 there, which is 11. I have a 2 plus a 1, 3, 4. I got $41, which I could just write 41 or $41 or whatever this number is supposed to be. Okay? There. Aligning of numbers and decimals. So, let's take an example. Using a whole number, 300, and a decimal number, 0.1. We want to add those two numbers together. Well, if I took the 300 and I didn't put in the decimal like I did here, and I put in a 0.1 there, I would see that if I just did it this way and I aligned the numbers only, I would add 1 and a 0 plus 0, and then we got a 3, and we got maybe I'm supposed to move the decimal over 1 or just drop it down. I'm not sure. Then you have a 30.1 after doing this. But this is wrong. Okay? So let's do it the right way. The whole number 300 has a decimal there. You just don't really see it or use it. But it really is there. And I have the 0.1, so I'm going to align the decimals, put my 0.1 here, and wherever there's a space, I'm just going to put a 0. It doesn't change this number at all. So let's add the numbers. 0 plus 1 is 1. 0, 0, 3. We bring down the decimals that are aligned. And our real number that we should have gotten the first time was 300.1. And that's why we align the decimals when we add. All right, how about when subtracting? Subtracting is kind of like adding, just backwards, and I'll show you why. Let's say I want to subtract 5 from 100. So I take the 100, put it on top because it's the bigger number, and I take the 5 here. Now remember, these are pretend decimals. They're just invisible. So I'm just going to write those in there so that you can see when you've done this, you've actually already have been aligning the decimals. So if I do this correctly, and hopefully I do it correctly, I'm going to borrow from here. I'm going to put 9, add 1. 10 minus 5 is 5. Drop the 9. There's a 0 there, so I don't need it. So my answer is 95. 100 minus 5 is 95. Okay? I don't need to put the decimal really there because the 95 is 95, even with the decimal or not. All right, and even if I put zeros here, it's still 95. We just say 95.0. Okay, let's subtract 100.50 and 0.5. Okay, so I've already written down this number. Now, how do we write this 0.5 in here? Well, if I wrote it like this, the 0.5, if I just align the numbers, that would be incorrect. I have a decimal already here, and I have a decimal here. So you're going to have to align the decimals. I'm going to take this out. I'm going to put the point right here. The 5. This is subtracting. Again, if I have a space that's open, all I have to do is just put a 0 there. It doesn't change the number. So I'll subtract 0 from 0. 5 minus 5 is 0. We put the decimal, and we drop everything down because there's no more numbers to really subtract. And our number is 100.00, or just 100. So that's why it's important to align the decimals when we subtract as well. Okay? And if I wanted to check it, I would take this 0.5, put it down here below the answer, and then I would add it. And if I do that, I'll see 0 plus 0, 5 plus 0 is 5. Put the decimal. Everything's a 0 here, and then the 1. I'll see that when I check it, it's the same as what I started with. And that's how I check after subtracting. All right, now let's get some practice with multiple numbers. You're usually going to get numbers that you have to add, and you have to add up a lot of them. So let's take a look at what we should do and what we shouldn't do. As you can see here, I've already written out 25.4, 0.39, 40.25, and 0.656. Now, it looks good, it's nice, and it's aligned, but the numbers are aligned, not the decimal. We have to get the decimals to align. So let's rewrite this the correct way. It's 25.4. We have a 0.39. We have a 40.25. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the decimal, and I'm going to write 25. I still want the numbers to align nicely, so I just make sure everything is lined up. And 0.656. I'll write the decimal first. 6, 5, and 6. Now, this looks really different from this, but this is the correct way to write it. We're adding all of these, and if I want to, I can fill in the spaces with zeros so I don't get confused on where I'm at. I can even write them on this side and this side. Zeros don't do anything. They just help fill up the space. Now if I want to do this real quickly, nah, I don't want to do it. Maybe you can do it. Just hit pause on your thing there, video viewer, and you can do this problem. Maybe if you do it right, we'll check it tomorrow and see if you got it correct. All right, that is aligning decimals. Hope you all have a good one. Adios.